Where's the microphone?
It's part of, I don't know, it's inside the tape recorder. What?
Well, it doesn't look very professional.
It's fine.
Whatever you say.
Okay, how about we test it, and you can see if it works or not.
The people paying that they couldn't afford to get you a better machine?
Nobody's paying me yet. They pay me when I deliver a draft.
They couldn't afford to get you a better machine.
See? Sounds fine.
I couldn't hear it.
You don't have to hear it. I'm the one who has to hear it so that I can transcribe it.
You're the one going to transcribe it? What's the point having a publisher if they're not going to do anything?
They're publishing it. That's the something they're doing.
You know what? I don't want to argue with you. What are we waiting for? Let's go.
Nothing. We're waiting for nothing. Jesus.
Please don't say Jesus.
Okay. January 15th, 1987. Okay. When you met Mom.
Wait, I know how we should start. Ask me how it felt to be in hiding, and I'll tell you the story about the farmer and the king. Right? That's good, right? Start, press the button.
I don't want to start with
Sure,
that.
that's good. Gonna be very good
Does
for
everything
the
have to
book.
be an argument?
Not if you agree with me.
Okay. Got me there. I don't want to start with that, though. I want to start with why Mom's parents didn't want you to marry her.
No. Why you want to start with that, Rachel? You're trying to compare what happened to me and your mother with what's happening with you. It's night and day.
I'm not trying to do anything, Dad, except press the record.
You know what? You have an ulterior motive.
You just refuse to talk about it.
That's right. Start with something else. Come on, let's go. Come on, I have things to do.
I've traveled for 200 miles to be here today. This has been planned for a week, and now all of a sudden you've got things to do?
It's an expression, things to do. All right, there isn't a thing I have to do. It's just I'd like to get this over
This
with.
isn't going to work, Dad.
Sure, it'll work.
No.
Press the button.
Dad, listen to me.
Listening.
I know that you're not very happy with me right now, and that Alan isn't the person you
I
wanted
told you
me
I don't want to talk about that.
Why not?
Because there's nothing to talk about. You made a decision. Nobody else is important. You do what you do. You want what you want.
I
That's
never
right.
said nobody else is important, and I did not make a decision. This just happened. You are being so unfair.
Unfair? Press the button. I'll show you unfair. And if you have a child with that boy, God forbid,
God forbid.
the world would teach you every inch of unfair, up, down, and sideways.
I've got to get you on tape because nobody's going to believe
No,
that
you're not going to put this on
I'm not
tape.
so sure you're right when I let everyone know what
First
you
of all,
think.
100% so sure, I'm not about anything. And second of all, we had an agreement. About the book, I'll talk. I'll talk about the Holocaust. That's history. That's the past. Maybe somebody wants to know about it. This is private. Nobody wants to know about it. Not going.
I haven't decided yet what is or is not going to be
What are
a
you going to
part
write in
of the
this book? What are you going to write, Rachel? You wish you had a different father?
I wouldn't say that.
You already said it to me.
In a moment of anger, in frustration, I said it. You've got to admit it's ironic, Dad. It's ironic that after all the terrible things that happened to you and your family, now all this drama just because I fell in love.
Ironic?
What would you call it?
Not ironic. I lived through the Holocaust. You fall in love with the Schwarz. Ironic is too nice a word. Ironic has in it something humorous. This is just sad.
Don't say Schwarze. You like it when people call you names?
He's not even here. I'm not calling him
And
anything.
it's not sad, not for us.
No, for me. It's sad for me. And believe me, if your mother would be alive, sad for her too. Very sad. More than sad. It feels like I lived through everything for nothing.
That is a terrible thing to say. You are such a...
What? I'm a what? I'm a racist.
I know what you are, Dad. I really don't.
You think I have something against this boy, this Alan? I don't know him. And I don't know his parents. And how much you want to make a bet? They're not so happy about this either. You met them?
Not yet. We're living together right now. That's all.
That's all? Just living together? That's all?
You knew that. I told you that. And you know what you wrote? This. This is what you wrote.
You kept it?
I kept it so that later you couldn't deny it. To live, that is nothing. A dog lives. How to live, that is something.
What do you want me to write? That I'm happy about?
Something that doesn't compare me to a dog.
What do his parents say about it? Rachel?
He's waiting for a response.
What does that mean? They're thinking about it?
In a way.
A thing like this, you don't need to think about it. You know right away how you think.
Some people think before they write letters saying their kids live like animals.
What did he say about to his parents? He said, what, you're dating? You're dating, he said, maybe? Did he tell them the truth?
Going to. Okay, he hasn't told them yet. But
Aha!
don't say aha. Please do not say aha.
Can I say it's ironic?
This was a huge mistake.
Where are you going? Come on, Rachel, come on. What about the book? Rachel!
You know, The question you always ask because you love the expression on people's faces when you give them the answer?
No, what question? How could God have a son?
No. Why are there still Jews in the world?
That's a very good question.
Because of anti-Semitism.
That's correct.
You say if it weren't for hate and prejudice pushing us into a corner, killing us century after century, forcing us to be separate and to marry only inside our own tribe, Jews would have disappeared a long time ago.
That's a fact.
I'm going to throw your own words back at you.
Throw. I'm happy you remember anything I say.
You say, in a world without hate, it wouldn't be such a big deal to marry the neighbor's daughter. Those are your words. And after a few generations, who would be Jews? Only a few fanatics with black hats.
Wait a minute. You think this is connected with you living with a Schwarzer?
You know what? Maybe it is connected, and if you say the word Schwarze one more time, I am leaving.
Schwarzer means black person. What's so terrible?
Exactly. That's my point. What is so terrible?
Wait a minute. Marry the neighbor's daughter? You're gonna marry him?
No, Dad, listen to me. You say tolerance has to be taught not by theory, not by religion, but by blood, by wanting your child to have a better life. So if a person from one tribe has a child with someone from the enemy tribe, it's not so easy to hate that child or to hate that tribe. And after a few generations, the hate would vanish.
After many, many, many generations?
So all I'm saying is why don't we just...
Minute. A child from the enemy tribe? Tell me the truth, Rachel, you're pregnant?
No, I am not. God, Jesus Christ, Dad.
What is that? Were you recorded that? Erase it.
No. No. What are you so afraid of?
Afraid of? Me? Everything.
And if you say the word Schwarze one more time, I am leaving.
Schwarzer means black person. What's so terrible?
Exactly. That's my point. What is so terrible?
My father would sound worse.
Worse than Schwarze?
He'd call you a white piece of ass and say I could tap that without having to marry.
He actually said that?
No, he didn't say much of anything.
Nothing? What did your mom say?
You know, not a lot. I really wanted to tell them. I just couldn't find the right, moment.
You told them that we're living together, right?
Okay, listen. When you first moved in, I did tell them that I was seeing somebody.
Somebody? Do they know about me at all?
Of course, I did say I was dating you.
Do they know I'm white? Oh my God.
Rachel, my mom would just cry. And my father, I told you the kind of thing he'd say. That's why I didn't tell them. I didn't need the grief. And they don't need the grief from me either. What did your dad say when you told him?
I kind of didn't.
You didn't tell him that we're getting married? So he doesn't know about...
He wasn't exactly in the mood to hear it.
They'll find out when we invite them when we set a date, and then we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll be a blue moon, and hell will freeze over, and it'll snow in July, and everyone will get along. Have you ever seen that Sidney Poitier movie, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner?
No, but I don't need to guess.
Sidney was the one coming to dinner with his white fiance's parents. And this is 20 years ago when intermarriage is still illegal in over a dozen states. So they made Sidney the perfect son-in-law in the movie. The only possible objection could be race. He was a successful doctor. He refused to have premarital sex, even though his fiancée was willing. He was perfect, except for the colored part. He was gorgeous.
Who played the white parents?
Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn.
Okay, my dad is not Spencer Tracy. His attitude isn't from 20 years ago, it's from 1,000 years ago.
Rachel.
And he doesn't need you to be perfect. He needs you to be Jewish.
What if I convert?
You're an atheist.
So are you.
I'm allowed to be an atheist. I'm Jewish.
Rachel, let me ask you
What
something.
would make me okay for your parents?
If you were rich,
No.
Yeah, you asked. It isn't pretty. It is what it is. Rachel, let me ask you something. If I were Jewish, we weren't living together, and I was a doctor, an Ivy League graduate, but still black, could I come to dinner?
Yep. I'm serious. If you were a black Jewish doctor or lawyer instead of photographer, it would be a hell of a lot easier.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You think it's hard for him just because you're black? No, that's not him.
No, he doesn't call me a Gentile. He calls me a Schwarz.
You know, I think it's probably easier that you're black. Seriously, the similar history of your people and mine.
I don't think your dad or mine would say we have a similar history. Okay, my father remembers colored drinking fountains and sitting at the back of the bus. Your dad, he remembers being hunted. He remembers his whole family being murdered. And I think it's hard for your dad and mine because for them, this is a white-black thing, and it's got nothing to do with the Holocaust or slavery.
Or everything. You know what we should do?
Elope?
How could we get your parents and my dad to meet?
Oh, they'll meet. Yeah, in about 6 months at my parents' church right after our son's bris.
You know, my dad guessed that I was pregnant.
What? How
I
did
was
he?
going to tell him, and then he said, God forbid.
God forbid.
God forbid I have children with you.
Man.
I know.
So he asked and you said no?
I lied. Just like you.
Yeah, I didn't lie. I just didn't say anything.
Well, that's far more ethical.
It's a black thing. You know, when in doubt, shut the fuck up. Rachel, did you not tell him because of him or because of us?
What are you talking about?
I mean, this is huge. And maybe you have, I don't know.
Doubts? Do you have doubts?
Of course I do. Not serious, holy shit, I don't want to do this kind of doubts. Just every day being alive in this situation kind of doubts. Don't you?
I am about 3 months past those kinds of doubts. Okay. You're right. The reason I didn't tell my dad everything is as much to do with me as it is about him.
That's what I'm saying. I'm in the same boat. And we don't have a major leak, but we've got to do some bailing.
Okay, but what if they really did meet? Your parents and my dad.
Would I have to be there?
I'm serious.
Okay. Then first, I'd have to tell my parents that you're white and that we're living together, and then the pregnancy and getting married might come up. But I think that might delay them wanting to meet
You
your
don't have
dad.
to tell them everything all at once.
Okay, then somehow, for some reason, they would have to agree to meet.
Yeah.
And I know this look on your face. You're plotting something.
They'll have a lot in common. They'll figure their shit out even though we can't.
You're insane. They'll figure nothing out.
We could trick them.
How? More importantly, why?
Shut up. I'm thinking.